Joins theater arts.
They have a fundamental qualification. This man, Mike Aguilera, is he there?
Yeah, I know that name. It's a known name, but
Department.
Mike, it should be theater, not.
Oh, he's English.
Okay, so we're about to go on.
Are
you ready? Are you ready? Good morning, Imolite, and welcome to Center Stage on Omalicha 91.1 FM, your number one voice for development. I'm Rosemary Nwabasi Bibo, and today, as usual, it's always a pleasure having you join us on Center Stage. Today, we are having a conversation that makes us, want to go back to our roots, but at the same time, we'll ask a very modern question. Now, let me ask you, listener, right now, when was the last time that you heard the word Dibia and actually stopped to think about what the word meant in traditional Igbo society? For some of us, the Dibia is a familiar figure from stories told by our parents and the grandparents. For others, perhaps the word immediately brings up questions about spirituality, traditional medicine, rituals, or even things that we may not fully understand. But beyond all of that, our traditional society had systems. There were elders, there were traditional rulers, there were priests, there were Dibias, there were 8 grades, Umuada, community leaders, and each had a role to play in keeping the society together. But today things have changed. We have churches, we have hospitals, we have police stations, we have courts, we have elected leaders and modern systems of governance. So here's the question we are putting on the table today. Do traditional priests and Dibias still have a place in our community in 2026? Can they still contribute to conflict resolution? Can traditional institutions help preserve our culture and values? Should they have a role in community governance, and do we do we draw the line between respecting tradition and embracing modern systems? These are not questions that I want to answer alone, and that's why I'm particularly excited about today's conversation, because I have with me here on center stage someone who has spent considerable time working around theater, culture, and cultural advocacy. Like you said we should not go into CV. But let's not go depth into because I mean the profile is quite enormous. So we are just going to stay concise with this aspect of it. So it's somebody that you Imolites are familiar with. Is a name that rings a bell, right? So he is no other person but Ugo Stevenson, popularly known as Nda Chineke. It's a pleasure to have you join us, sir.
Rosemary, you alone, 2 names.
Oh my goodness!
You are a blessing, man.
I've been laughing all along. I've been having free therapy, like free what do I call it?
That's a free job, conscious Igbo people offer themselves before the new trend of stand up and sit up comedy.
Exactly.
Yes, we are jovial, we are lively.
Welcome once again, sir.
Thank you, and great morning to all the listeners. God bless us.
Yeah, quickly, and I think we should start from somewhere very simple in today's conversation. Before we start debating whether the Dibia is still relevant or who was the Dibia really? Because depending on who you ask, you may get different answers on who Dibia is. So, let's go right back to the beginning. Who was the traditional Igbo Dibia, and what roles did this person actually play in the community?
Okay. The Dibia is simply an indigenous doctor or diviner. But as we have the street say is a native, somehow does it look like there is something secret about it. The radicals or localize it. Is an indigenous doctor or diviner, or you can say indigenous doctor and diviner. The diviner is someone who goes into divination, who sees beyond the physical, and who can interact with the supernatural to give you information and guide you on the path to follow. Now, there's also something to clear here. The traditional priest is not always a Dibia. The traditional priest is he that is, the mouthpiece of the deity or a deity. The person may be gifted to also be a Dibia, but is not usually a Dibia. And not all Dibias are traditional priests.
Okay.
Dibias, those gifted in divination, they divine, they give you, they serve as diviners, they serve as herbalists who takes care of healing and, of course, in going to spirituality. So the Dibia in Igbo land is someone who takes care of traditional process of healing, serving, and rendering spiritual medical services to the people. The chief priest here is the mouthpiece of the deities.
Okay.
The chief priest tells us what the ancestors and the deities are saying or have said. And in situations where there is need and requires performing of rituals and cleansing of the land, they are the ones that take care of it.
Okay.
They also play an important role in sustaining the morality of the community.
Okay.
The moral guidance, telling us that these are unsala. These are things we should not do based on the instructions of the deities.
Okay.
To bring cosmic harmony, that is to balance spirituality and physicality in our lives.
So that means a Dibia can have, is there any particular name? Like you said, a priest is not necessarily a Dibia. A Dibia is not necessarily a priest.
Yes.
But there are some situations where you have a priest.
The priest is
who
also
has
a Dibia who has that
knowledge.
gift.
Is there a different name that is given to such priest who has both both responsibilities put together?
No. He's simply Onyishala. He's a chief priest.
Okay.
That's why the linguistic thing that we embrace, we call him the chief, so simply Onyishala. But that doesn't mean that if he has a gift, you come to If Afa, Yabala Gaja, to say this is a situation. And if he is skilled and has information and the rituals to perform for things to be well, he can perform it.
Okay.
But if he does not, he will refer you to a Dibia that will do the job.
Good. So beyond spirituality, do Dibias also have other roles that they play in the community?
Like I have said, they preserve moral, morality in the community. They give moral guidance. When Igbo was Igbo, well, I didn't say we have changed. When Igbo was Igbo, the traditional institution is not the now politicized autonomous community title. It would take the chief priest to appoint the Eze, based on the expression that Eja Amueza Amu is the deities that choose the Eze. And it's the traditional priest that will put the crown on you.
But do you think at that time, the kind of things that we're seeing, for instance, you can have a chief priest who might, try to influence, say when the gods have not said. For instance, I think from the movies we see it, but is it applicable? Do we have something like that? Maybe chief priest making a wrong pronouncement. Maybe the god says this is the right king, and then for certain reasons best known to him, he will say otherwise. There are things like that.
That is something. There is a contribution I made on radio in some other radio station this morning. Obviously, when the supernatural positively creates, the enemy or his friend also brings negative, version of it. There are people who have been corrupted from time. There is nothing new under the earth. There have been also people who have defied the orders of the deities and disobeyed the gods, but they pay spontaneously for it. That's the difference between now and then. If a deity, we have a saying that if the deity has selected you and you decide to be funny with him, he will settle you and give you a gravesite. He doesn't really. So, but there have been people who have been funny. But the result is for people to know that this man has lied against the gods, is no longer the mouthpiece of the gods. He or she goes down spontaneously. Unlike now, where he's deceiving himself that the deity is there, when he has gone to bring another stranger among the gods to partner in doing business. There is no way you can remove their job aside healing. As a mouthpiece, they also conduct vital responsibilities like, performing rituals, like I said. There are certain things, activities and events you can't do in Igbo land except the chief priest comes. The Iriji festival or some other event like in Mpobozo, the traditional events of the people is hinged and anchored on the direction of the chief priest. He must be able to say, this is the timing, this is the right timing, based on the desire and choice of the gods. And he must do certain ritual for people to go. It is also him as the tax master that says, here won't sala. If you defy the land, you must perform ritual. And today we think we are smarter than our elders and ancestors. We don't do those things again. There's no more yam in your community. We have lost the Oba because we have ignored the Ayajoku rules, and the yams are no longer growing. There's hunger everywhere. There is affliction everywhere. There is COVID-24 and 26 everywhere. And people are dying without permission because we think we are not smart. The chief priest has his role. The Dibia too has his role. If you go to a Dibia when Igbo was Igbo, he will tell you who and Rosemary will be. Abafa. Who are you? Who is this child? If you read that book called The Gods Are Not to Blame,
yeah, I did,
by Professor Laro to me, you look at the genesis of Odewale, the protagonist, and of course the consequences of what they first said, and the community Akala played a funny role of, instead of disposing the child, decided to sell it to a hunter, and of course the calamities came back to the community.
Yeah, there was something you said. You talked about the hunger and all these problems that we are seeing today. Are you trying to say that all these things are happening because we probably are trying to, or we don't consult the chief priest like we used to back then? Are you linking the events?
I'm not trying to. I've said it. Oh. When you lose your roots, of course you pay the price. You won't even have the branches of the tree to patronize.
So, but does it mean then when we have the chief priest in the communities making decisions like this, there were no calamities, there were no eventualities taking place at that time?
Life is taking on challenges, but they were smart and intelligent to ask questions. What is the root cause of this? And they will solve it. Sanity will return to the community.
Okay, thank you so much. That was quite expository. Now let's come into 2026, into this, let's come into our present day. Today we have courts, we have police, we have hospitals, we have churches, elected governments, and modern systems of administration. Is there still a role for traditional priests and Dibias in our modern society? And if yes, what exactly should they be?
The Dibias are regularly there. Some communities too keep their chief priest. I know of some communities you don't come and start claiming you want to be SA because you think you have made some little money somewhere. If you try it and that crown is on your head, good luck. It will pass you over. You don't kill spirits. They are there with us. And the Dibias, what has happened is that since the people have abandoned what they have, hustlers has hijacked some of these, responsibilities, and today you don't know who is doing the right thing. But I have an understanding that a great Dibia don't need a signpost. It's your works that will speak for you. Just like Jesus went about doing good. He doesn't need a signpost. In fact, the 9 people he healed that didn't come back to say thank you, the Spirit said to me they're on evangelism. Yeah, that they went about talking about the good works of man. So a good Dibia, his works will speak. Those who are still doing bone setting, which is a traditional inheritance, are there today. In fact, they do better. I'm not advocating Orthodox and they say they are not good. No, everywhere has. I go to hospital, I get my treatment, much as I don't fall sick anyway. But there are bone setters today. They do it as good as the hospitals could do. For those who inherited it, not those who are making money
From it.
with it. It is Dibias too are maintaining historical, philosophy. The language we speak, the acts we talk about, they are the custodians and they give it to us. It's all for us to find a way to not see them as alternative medical providers, to also see them as people who are part of the society and guide them. Recently, in Burkina Faso, I was made to know that the President, your head of state, gathered all the herbalists and all the native and said, we must begin to take it our way. But we are going to supervise what you do. You don't come and start hawking your medicine on the street and say, this one cures, up and down. We must know who you are and how you do and guide it. And maybe proper education will tell us the dosage so that we don't pollute ourselves. They are there and they are still relevant in this society.
Okay, obviously we have agreed that there is still a role for them to play in our modern day society. So how do we bring these traditional institutions into modern society without creating a conflict with existing laws and institutions? For example, there should be a form of recognition, regulation, or training for. Should there be a form of recognition, regulation, or training for traditional practices? How do we make sure that tradition remains relevant without allowing people to hide harmful practices behind the wall? For instance, we talk about the traditional chief priest who says what the gods have said and all that. Okay, for instance, you made reference to the gods are not to blame, where the chief priest asks that a child be killed. So when you have that kind of situation, a chief priest orders that the gods have asked us to kill this child. And of course, in the Nigerian law, it's murder. If you try that, you're definitely going to be jailed for, going to be punished for committing murder. How do you bring in these traditional institutions to modern day the laws and all of that, and how can they peacefully coexist without
Beautiful. No, Rose, this is a beautiful thing. You see, we lost it in Africa because we embrace what we don't know. Democracy is not our system of governance, much as we, like I read in the beginning, the intro, there was a system of administration in Igbo land as a case study. Now, if leadership understands these roles, the effect of oath taking, the roles of these supernatural and divine gifts, it will automatically guide their actions. But when purpose is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. So we are where we are today because we seem to have lost who we are. And whatever has been important conflicts with our original self. It's all about leadership, understanding who they are first. Like I mentioned, what is happening in Burkina Faso, and marrying it into the dynamics of life. Okay, if the gods have said this child is going to cause more harm in future, what do? Can we take a measure of not killing this boy? Of this, the gods in that the gods are not to blame. The story says he will kill his father and marry his mother. That's an abomination. And why they say kill the boy is that he's going to cause an abomination that will bring famine and more calamities to the land. But we can say, okay, if you don't, the gods have said this, can we talk to them? Let this boy not be killed. How do we reverse this, inherent nature of him? The scripture even said that Dibias prayed and his name was changed. So you could blame the question is, why didn't that community ask the gods to say, change the destiny of this boy? That brings us to the conflict in African spirituality as in the supernatural. Most times we don't ask questions. And now that we are asking questions, we could ask the gods to say, how do we change this boy's destiny? Must he kill the father? Can't we find a way to say, tell us how to change this boy? Since he has a great destiny, he's going to be a king. He will kill the father, marry the mother, and become a king. How do we stop him from killing the... They didn't ask that question. So long as that narrative was, So these are ways we can. When you understand yourself, you begin to ask relevant questions. But when you don't know yourself, you go into argument.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Stephen. This is quite interesting. I like this perspective that we are really going into, because there are deeper questions that needed to be asked, and needed to be clarified. There's a whole the coexistence of tradition and modernity
Can work together.
But that really needs attention and to be able to get that harmony that we seek. All right, if you're just joining us, this is Center Stage on Normal Channel 91.1 FM Owerri. And of course, this is month of August, where we go back to our roots, where we explore our rich cultural heritage. Exactly. In today's edition, we are looking at traditional priests and Dibias in modern community governance. They are relevant. We want to know if they are still governance. And I'm joined in the studio today with Ogo Stephen. He's been giving us professional insight on the topic of discussion. All right, we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, I'll open the phone lines. I know that our listeners want to join the conversation. I know you have a lot to say as long as this topic is concerned. That will be right after the break. Don't go nowhere. Okay. There was a story I was doing. It's on traditional medicine.
Yes.
Apart from the truth is that we really need to do a lot, because all this, me personally, my instincts, I usually don't like medicine, powdered medicine. I just feel it's harmful. I don't know. I prefer I prefer herbs. So if we have all these things, I wonder why we are running away from. I don't just know how to explain it.
We are, like I said, we are badly connected. They made us
disregarded everything about us.
And that confusion creates more confusion. You can't advance yourself when you have left yourself. Yes. So, okay, let's see for instance. Someone discovered japan, cassava, planted it. Maybe the only picture here and the in the state of his hunger or spicing of menu, yeah, in the course of development, something occurred to him. Yeah, great, and I'm taking to the by the time he sat down again, that bacha is no longer gari. It becomes apple, fufu. Fufu and gari didn't match at the same time. It started first as gari. Advancement took it to fufu. Pataka, this and gari. It's a developmental process. But when you are cut off from that process, you become confused. You start disliking yourself. And the moment you begin to dislike yourself, there is nothing around you will appreciate.
Exactly.
So we are terribly attacked.
Especially I feel the medical world, because of course we are not even the ones producing all these pharmaceutical words. They don't want. I believe that herbs can cure herbs can cure any sickness or blooding. I believe strongly.
My darling, before so-called hospitals, how long were our people living? How were they treated?
But they don't want that discovery.
They are making business. There are things we don't say MBC about.
No. Yeah, of course. But the report I was making is on traditional medicine and modern medicine. There are certain things, like apart from that, modern medicine has not been able to to handle. So in the to the traditional people I met, I saw results. People come, they get healed. In fact, 4 days, everything is settled, right? So they and the traditionalists acknowledge that fine. Traditionalists cannot do it alone, right? They say there are things that they are places when they would need the modern inputs in the medicine. But it got to the mother, they don't want to even say anything about it. They don't want to, even though the doctors know that this is real, but because I don't know, it's
no, it's not that I don't know. If your emphasis is to make profit, like your president would recently say, all is fair in politics.
Exactly.
So if your target is profit, you will do anything to quieten the other person that will deny you that income.
It's fine. All right, so we'll be going back now. If you're ready.
Remember your live on there.
Yeah, this is just my Facebook personal stuff. So. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Center Stage on Malisha 91.1 FM Owerri, and today we are looking at the role of priest and Dibias, traditional priest and Dibias in our modern society today. And of course, I'm in the studio with yours truly, Ugo Stevenson, also known as Nda Chineke. Alright, always good to have you, sir. So quickly back to, okay, I said when we come back, I'll open the phone line. Sorry about that. So I'll be officially opening the phone lines, right? So you can call us to make contributions. The number to call to join the conversation is 0911 598 3411 or 070 4977 4956. Let's take this calls before we go ahead, sir. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Michael, and I'm calling you from Enugu.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I have to make it. The difference is that that works directly with the dead. And just like we have calling in the Christendom, there's also the traditional calling. If you are called to be a Dibias, then it will now manifest whether a Dibias that is the herbalist, or Dibias or Dibias, or it can be a medium and a diviner. So these are the three diviners we have in the traditional Igbo society. Now, I think our gods have been driven away. And
what did you say?
No, our gods may have been driven away.
Gods, traditional gods, have been driven away and be replaced by foreign spiritual beings. So, when people bring in these foreign spiritual beings, who now come and perpetrate atrocities, is where all these people now making rituals for money, making rituals for the charms for going to steal, doing charms to have good luck and all that. So, that's a serious conflict that is happening. Now, coming to coexisting, the traditional institution coexisting with the modern. You see, if you come to Bone City, for instance, like if you have fractures and you have splinters of bones, you cannot just come and use the traditional bone setting. You can't set anything because there are splinters of bones. They have to go through the orthopedic route where those people will now go and remove all those distance and then patch it. See, so that is the need for regulation of the government. What the Burkina Faso person is doing is very, very good. So that they will know their limits and know when the like Institute of Witchcraft, where they study all these things, sorcery, you know that witchcraft is not only spiritual, something. They've been doing things, propaganda, using all kinds of things to achieve mayhem. You see, so, but in our own society here, to now come together and promote what are the good things in our own system that we can improve and put to use. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. That's quite a long one, and he had a lot to say. He said they have chased our gods away, and I wonder who did that. That's kind of music. All right, let's have this next caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Sorry, we lost that call. Please do well to call back. The number to call is 0911-598-3411 or 070-4977-4656. Okay, talking about bringing in foreign gods. He said that they brought in foreign gods who are now committing atrocities. Is it trying to say that? Okay, there's a story I heard then somewhere in Chokinism, isn't it, MBC? There's this they are known for, they call, is it Alobaga and Ajala, something like that.
Okay.
So there was this story that the Ajala did something wrong as a deity. It did something wrong, and then the community came together and chased it away. Right. So I wanted to ask, because he said the atrocity, does it mean that, let's use the Nigerian, not African, okay, let's say the Nigerian traditional system, does it mean that the gods at that time they abhorred evil? Or because sometimes I hear that it's the priests who the messenger who could either say do this evil or do this good. At that time, was it could the gods like just naturally abhor evil? We ask them to do something ill, they will just say no to that.
Okay, before I can find out who is calling.
Okay, let's open. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
There were one. There were.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Hmm. All right. Hmm. All right. Go round up, please, Richardson, so that we can take order. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
To play.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Richardson, for your contribution. All right. Let's have all the callers contribute. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. How are you?
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, I am Miss Brody Ababu. I'm calling from Obama in the Dibias.
Welcome, Mr. Gordy. Go ahead.
So, Dibias, good morning.
The ball and one name.
Actually, America say, equal local, I this morning.
Email.
I'm delighted with the way you try to explain the issue of Dibia and the chief priest.
Okay.
The question I want to ask is this: the chief priest in Igbo, what do we call them? Are they not the people we call Dojo?
Oh,
Is there
no.
any other name to them?
Onyishiala.
Okay, inshallah, yes.
Yes, sir.
Why I ask this question is because in those days I can remember when we were in primary school, we used to see the G show in our place. They were having their meeting point and they meet at a particular market day. So and when they gather, whenever there's a problem in the society, the people pick on them.
Yes.
Yes, and by that there was, people. There were fears in people in committing crime. Before you could commit crime, when this thing come to your mind that then I call for, somebody will shiver and restrain himself from committing that crime. Like sister in host in the city was saying when she mentioned Allah Baka. Now, in my place here in Obama, there was something that happened sometime.
Please round up so that we could take more calls. Okay, just round up, please.
Somebody went to retrieve their land that was pledged to another family. And the head of that family was trying to claim that his father sold that land to them. Do you know that when the man threatened to take them to Alabaga, the man came back again to say that he has seen the receipt, it was a land pledged to them. Which means people fear these our local deities more than even the Bible. So I'm trying to suggest that our people should go back to the basic. Because those days when these things were being practiced, there were less crimes in the society. That is my take. Remain blessed.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. We quite appreciate. Okay, this is we have a lot of people who know you really want to contribute, but let me take this particular person that has been calling over and over, and so that we can just go back into the discussion. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear sister.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Pastor Uzoma E.N. I'm calling from Abaji National Farmers.
Go ahead.
You see, my dear sister, India, Igbo translation for physician, and currently referred to as medical doctor or medical practitioner. In our Igbo traditional setting, Dibias are either inherited or cultivated by individuals. Dibias were associated with shrines and serving their own gods. Some use their shrines to terrorize people and perpetuate injustice and even killings. Example, some of them are instrumental to this age-long divisive mentality called Osuome in Igbo land. Yes, there are good aspects of some of these DBS. These people, especially those ones inherited, use herbs that apply to health challenges to normal. These DBS are kind and compassionate. They offer help financially and other humanitarian services. Please note that some people God calls, there are some people God calls for the services of heavenly healing, deliverance, liberation, and prosperity. These people are called divine DBS, or currently called prophets. They can be prophets of healing or liberation or deliverance. At times, God credits and combines all attributes to these prophets. Honestly, if you want to be established in prosperity generally by God, you must believe in God and His prophet. Second Chronicles 20:20. That's my take. God bless you, my dear sister.
All right, thanks so much for your contribution. Oh my goodness, you heard what he said. Yeah, you wanted to say something before I went ahead to pick this call.
When you listen to the callers, you have no other conviction but to tell you that people are worried that we have mixed it. And there's a great concern that who actually are we? Why are things the way they are? Even the last caller himself was trying to say the truth but decided to be religious. You see, whenever you want to protect your faith, you don't take the final process of thesis writing, which is appreciating other people's knowledge. That is the only chapter that explains that you really studied. When people say, your supervisor says, who and who did you read? Who did you research on to arrive at this order? Someone explained here that there is Dibia Mbakukwo, which is the herbalist. There is Dibia Alpha, which is the diviner. And then the other one you mentioned, you have this responsibility, which are all products of gift. I think some other person too was concerned that we have sold our gods. Or that we have chased them away. No, spirits don't die. What happened is that whenever the children of Israel, originally known as the Jews, if you abandon your God, He abandons you. If you go to Arrow of God by Chinua, he will tell you the problem of Ezolo when Winter Bottom and the church came. See, I walk with Christ.
But is it really possible to chase away the gods, like the story I told you?
The God you chase away is the God you establish. Igbo man will say, which is an imported God. You don't chase away your chi and the deity that works with you. For every community, there is a deity that established that land before he even migrated to that place. And it's that deity that confronts the hunters and some other individuals and say, this is the way I want you to walk with me. These are servants. You also ask a vital question. Are these deities strictly doing good or were they also doing evil? No. These agents of God are there to serve humanity and make life easier and better. There's no business with evil except you paying the price of what you've done. But like nothing is new under the earth. When you corrupt yourself, I avoided using that corruption because it's not an Igbo word. Whenever you decide to disobey the supernatural, which is corruption now, you pay the price.
Okay, let me quickly ask you this practical question. Like, if in your community today had, or maybe you had a serious dispute today with somebody or anybody, would you trust traditional institutions to help you resolve it, or would you rather go directly to the police or court? Would you have more
It
confidence?
wasn't the job of Dibias and chief priests to go into dispute resolution, except it was brought before them under oath taking, whereby the age grade, the council of elders must have, gotten involved to say, how do we solve this problem? And none of you is saying the truth. They will not say, okay, go and stand before the unseen, the gods, to say, if you lie here, I'm go. That was how it was happening. But it wasn't the job of the chief priest. It was when the people started deceiving themselves, they now became the next arbiter to say, listen, this is not about me. This is about you. If you don't want to say the truth before the gods, you pay for it. And so there's a process of resolution before the police comes in Igbo land. And now that we have a new dynamics, there's nothing wrong in calling the police if you think you cannot solve it yourself.
Exactly.
In a situation where too, the police seems to have also decided not to be policing, this is where people now go to where humanity cannot help them, to go it by the gods, go to Allah Baga or the case may be. It's also left for those people there to be honest with themselves, or else, if that deity is there, you would die if you drop wrong judgment. That's the way it used to be. Except they have imported a different God there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you also decide to understand how the supernatural works in Igbo cosmic, you must first of all cleanse yourself from all the distractions and distortions. That way, the gods are with you and they fight with you. That's your chi.
Exactly. We've really had an honest conversations, really, from our listeners, from our callers.
So
And
concerned. They are so concerned.
Exactly. And yeah, but before we go, I'd like to, ask you something very simple. If you were asked to redesign the place of traditional priest and Dibias in today's Igbo society, what would you retain? What would you change? What would you completely remove? And finally, what should you do to ensure that the valuable part of our traditional knowledge survive without preventing our society from moving forward?
Remember too that in this conversation, someone mentioned about the divinity and calling. What we have today majorly are people claiming what they are not because they are all targeting to make money. Not even wealth. Because I will have we are going to judicial. So when you don't do the right thing and do the good thing, you pay for it. Opposite of right is wrong. Opposite of good is bad. It might be good for you to deceive people with deity. You pay for it. So if we first of all ask ourselves, who are we? We will know where we mix it. The dynamics of development will also tell us who are the true priests called to do this job, not claim I want to be because you're going to make money. That way, we harmonize both the, current state of politicking and the authority in government with the traditional institution. Like I said, it's a leadership issue, which must be that you must ask yourself, this is not who we are. How did we miss it? Let's sit down and discuss and marry it together. The ones that are not good enough, we discard them. The ones that are helping us, we embrace it and join them together.
Is there anyone that you can specifically point out that you
definitely there are man-made laws the gods did not give. Like someone mentioned, they had the ad cow system, those who made it. It was man-created. Some people ran into the shrine for security. And you now say, okay, the gods own them. They are now Osu. It wasn't the shrine that declared them Osu. It was you that said they ran to the shrine for security. So therefore, they are now Osu. Or a woman takes a child and says they are maltreating him or her. I am going to seek security here. You call him Mume. Or some other person cannot afford certain demands. And it's now say, okay, you are property of the gods.
God.
That's the genesis of some of these things. It was man-made decisions, not the gods, that condemn these people. So on our own, you can say no, that's not the way it is. These are fellow humans. These are factors that militated against it. Fortunately, I am not one of these. But I don't subscribe to tagging anybody, any of this. But if you have offered Samuel in the Bible to the God of Israel, the God of the Jews, he must remain there to serve. But that doesn't make him Osu. You don't make him an outcast. After all, it was the same God you are also serving. Okay? So there are certain things we do. For instance, certain women will not enter into this place, or women will not do this. Like I said, the story of the gods are not to blame. We didn't ask questions. We could have asked questions. How could this boy be prevented from killing his father? If you ask the question, some of the decisions these elders took, either for one reason or the other, say our ancestors took, say, why is this going to happen? Do we have alternative? We may get alternative answer from the deity, and we live in harmony and in peace.
Right. I don't know.
Because who took the decision that Mwanye should not realize this one? So if you ask certain questions, we'll get answers. And that is where the Europeans are smarted us. They ask questions.
Okay. I don't know. I wasn't supposed to take this call, but
take it.
They're really wanting to. So let's hear from our listeners before we go. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Are you sure? Connected?
Yes, it's connected. He's been calling. Probably doesn't know the call. Hello, good morning. I'm sorry, I have to take the next call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. It's Rosemary. I'm fine, and you? Okay, please be very brief with your contribution, please. Our time is fast spent.
According to your ancestors' ghosts.
Is it ghosts or gods?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your contribution. All right. If you're just joining us, this is Center Stage and Normal 91.1 FM, where our phone lines are still buzzing. But unfortunately, I will not be able to take more calls because our time is fast.
Rose, we will extend this program. People are concerned.
It's not in my hands to actually do that because other programs will come in. But I don't know. I'll still give you more chance to, make a final contribution before.
It's okay. Just one or two calls so that people can,
Okay.
I shouldn't be a speaker and be the members.
Okay, no problem. I'll hit to your plea. Of course, this is still Center Stage on Omalicha 91.1 FM, where I will be looking at the role of the traditional priest and Dibia in the modern society. Okay, you said I should take more calls. Let's do that. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from? Go ahead.
It's bad.
Mm. Please, please, quickly, please round up because I have to let you go because of the time. Let me just give you some few seconds to round up. Mm. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. I have to let you go. That we have to end this conversation here. It has been what a conversation this has been. Right today, we have gone beyond simply asking whether traditional priests and Dibias are still relevant. We've looked at what their roles were and what has changed, and where there is still a place for these institutions and the society we live in today. And perhaps the answer is not simply traditional versus modernity. Perhaps there is a middle ground, a place where we can preserve values, knowledge, respect our heritage, learn from our past, and still embrace the systems and realities of the modern world. Because preserving culture does not necessarily mean preserving everything. It means understanding what our ancestors knew, asking difficult questions about what we inherited, and deciding what is worth passing on. To our guest, Ugo Stevenson Ndachineke, popularly, of course, known as Ndachineke. Well, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Center Stage. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. We have to find a way to rediscover ourselves. God bless you.
All right, thank you. And to everyone who sent in messages, who called in and joined in the conversation, thank you so much for being part of the conversation today. It's been Center Stage on Omalicha 91.1 FM, your number one development radio station. I am Rosemary Mwabasi Ibebu. Thank you for staying with us. Up next is news update. Stay with us. We are still calling.
It's a serious
I forgot I was supposed to do something before the next.
yeah, they made us get carried
Yeah,
away.
that was why he came.
It's quite an exciting program. And you know, I gave them assignments. By the time you went to the depth, men
Exactly. Let me just quickly do the news updates.
I will leave you.
I'm coming. We'll take pictures. Are you in a hurry?
No.
Okay, just.
As a people with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and one.
Keep listening to Omalicha 91.1 FM. Keep listening to Omalicha 91.1 FM.
Alright, welcome back. This is news update at 10 on Omalicha 91.1 FM. Let's quickly look at the news that we have. Today, the police have arrested leaders of the Academic Staff Union of University ASU IMSU State University Imo State University chapter while attempting to stop examinations at the institutions on Tuesday. The arrest came a day after the union commenced a total and indefinite strike over the alleged failure of the Imo State government to implement a 35-page agreement reached with the union, which took effect on January 1st, 2026. However, the lecturers were later released in the evening yesterday, according to reports, and the chairman, who spoke from the police cell, said that the union is not backing down until the government implements their demands. Also, women from Ngbara community in Ohaji Egbema local government area of Imo State on Tuesday protested against the proposed siting of an African Development Bank FDB project in the community. The women, numbering in their hundreds, took to the streets with placards and chants demanding that the project be suspended until proper consultation is held with the wider community. The immediate past youth president of the community, Mr. Modric Ajunwa, said the protesters had the backing of the entire community. He said the community was not opposed to the development, but rejected any project imposed without genuine and collective consent, particularly where community land and livelihood were involved.